Okay, so hi, we are so excited to have you on our Zoom. So we're just going to start it how we always do. We just want to hear your story because I know a lot of my team actually doesn't know you. Some of them, reached out. I was a bunch of leaders. They're like, we have to have Brooke on our Zoom, and I was like, on it. So we would love to hear your story and a little bit about you.
Okay, I'm so excited. Okay, so I started this business when I was 19, and I've been in the business for 5 years now. I'm going to share a quick story, like my quick story, because it could go on forever. Basically, I got pregnant in high school. I was in cosmetology school my senior year. I got pregnant. And after I had my little boy, I was like, you know what? I don't see myself doing hair. Like I just don't see myself doing that. My husband and I now we got married back then, and he joined the military. So that was going to be like our income was him being in the military, and I was going to be your typical military wife, stay-at-home mom. So that's what we did. And when our little boy was 8 months old, we moved from Missouri to Alaska. Okay. So that's where we started this business. Literally, it was like 2 weeks after we had moved to Alaska, somebody asked us if we wanted to join this business. She used a Blitz card, so like a business card, and she basically was just like, hey, have you ever thought about doing this? And I was like, no. First of all, I'm 19. Second of all, nobody would support me. Like, I don't know anybody. I just moved here. I'm a mom. I don't have any friends. Like, I don't sell things. I had every excuse, and I was like, no, I can't do it. But at the end of the day, like, the military money wasn't this extravagant money that we thought it was. Here we are 19 just wanting to make money. And we're like, oh, the military will pay for everything we've ever wished for. No. And my husband actually was like, you know what? Why not just try? He was like, why not try it? And if it doesn't work, whatever, you can go get a job. But if you want to be a stay-at-home mom, you got to bring in some money, because the military wasn't going to continue to allow me to be a stay-at-home mom. Living in Alaska is super expensive. And so I got started in the business. A couple days later, I was like, you know what, whatever. I'm going to show you that this doesn't work. They're not even going to pay us a bill. They're not even going to pay us any money. They're probably going to take the last money we do have in our bank account. And I was just really negative about the whole situation. But I wanted more than anything to be at home with my little boy. And so I was willing, it wasn't like I was just going to be lazy. Like, I was willing to actually work. Okay. So I started this business, 19, brand new area, had only been there 2 weeks. We actually were living in a hotel. We didn't have any of our belongings from Missouri because we had just gotten to Alaska. And I just got to work. My upline looked a lot different back then, but basically she just said, hey, start asking people. And that's what I did. I started asking people. I went Ruby in my first month. So literally, like I said, I wasn't being lazy. I was willing to do what I was being told to do. And then a few months into my business, I think it was like 4 months, family came in seeing me, and I was still only a Ruby. Like, 4 months into this business, I was only a Ruby, and people started making fun of me. They were like, oh, wow, you're only making like $500 a month, And I got in my mind, and I was like, wow, like, this sucks. Like, I'm only making $500 a month. This is sucky, which I should have been so thankful for, because I only wanted to join this business to be a stay-at-home mom. Like, we were set. We were still struggling, but we were able to pay all of our bills, and I was able to be a mom at home with my baby and not have to give him to some stranger all day. But because of just being human and letting that affect me, I stopped working. I stopped taking my business seriously. I stopped posting. I stopped reaching out to people. I really pulled myself away from my leaders. I pulled myself away. I was just MIA. But nobody would have known that, because I didn't stop, I still was okay. I stopped everything except for posting, I guess I would say, because I still was posting, but I wasn't working. And instead of working, I was watching TV shows. I was, going out with friends that I had met, because now I had lived here for 5-6 months. So I was going out with friends and just being super lazy. I was not making this business a priority. And so here I am 10 months into my business, and I'm still a Ruby rank, but I went back down to executive 10 months into my business. And I was just like, I'm going to quit. It's not working for me. This business, it works. I've seen successful people, but it's just not for me. I was about to be 20, still a mom. And I was just so upset, because there were people underneath me who were successful. I had personally enrolled a diamond. Okay. I was maintaining executive, and I have a diamond underneath me. And I was just so discouraged by the fact that, like, this works for them, it works for her, it works for them, but it doesn't work for me. And within one day, like literally within 24 hours, my downline, my diamond leader, reached out to me and basically was like, look, you can do this too. You just have to get your head out of your butt and you have to work, and she gave me this really, just told me she believed in me. She told me that I could do this business. And she said, get your head out of your butt and start working. Stop being lazy. Stop watching TV. Stop doing this. If you want to do this, do it. If not, don't. But it's not that this business doesn't work. It's that you're not working. And that was it. Like, I snapped out of it. From that day, I started posting about, literally, like, I went from wanting to quit on a Monday. And then on a Tuesday, I started posting about how we're going to be a full-time family. I'm bringing my husband home full-time. Out of nowhere. Like, I just started posting about that. And I was able to go from executive paycheck, like $200 a month, to in 60 days, I finally promoted to diamond, and I made a $5,000 paycheck. $5,000 as a diamond is a fat diamond paycheck, you guys. And then I went double diamond the next month, and we seen our first $12,000 paycheck. And then 8 months, so 8 months from when I said I wanted to quit this business, my husband was filling out paperwork to come home full time. And for the last 3 years, we have fully lived off of this income. Like, for the last 3 years, we've been a full-time stay-at-home family. We bought our first house with cash. Mind you, it wasn't a, mansion, but we literally owned our first house. Nobody could take it from us. And that's what it's done for us. Today, we have a 5-year-old and we have a 3-year-old, both little boys. Because of this business, literally, once I hit double diamond, I went and got off birth control like 3 days later. And we were like, we're going to have another baby. Like, the only reason we didn't have more kids then is because we couldn't afford it. And as soon as this business gave us that financial freedom to have another baby, like, we were all for it. So that's kind of our quick story. There's lots of other details. We were saved because of this business. We became Christians and have a relationship with the Lord, and our kids do because of this business. But that's kind of what it has done for us and how we got started and how I went from being a negative Nancy to almost being a quitter. Like, I literally was going to quit. I know what it's like to be down in the dumps. I know what it's like to lose rank. I know what it's like to feel like you can't do this business, but other people can. You can do this business. You just have to get over yourself and start working. That's really what it comes down to. Stop working this business like it is a hobby, like I was doing, watching Pretty Little Liars, going out with my friends, eating ice cream, shopping at Target when I had no money. Okay? Stop working it like it's a hobby and start working it like it is a job. Treat it like a job, and it will pay you the way you treat it.
Exactly. I love it so much. So basically, like, with, like, throughout your story, like, what was probably like your first aha moment that just made you, like, say, wow, like, I really do have my hands on something amazing that I can do?
I mean, I think that it wasn't an aha moment of like, I can do this. It was just realizing that I wasn't really doing it. Like, when I realized that I wasn't working this business the way I wanted it to pay me. So, for instance, I don't remember who told me this, but it just really hit home. And it was during this day that I was like going to quit. I was told this. Somebody said, basically, how much money do you want to make? And I was like, I don't know. She's like, well, what rank would you want to be? Because that's how we often decide how much we want to make is off of a rank, which the more I've learned, I don't agree with. But I was like, I don't know. I want to be like triple diamond, presidential diamond. And she was like, okay, so you want to make like $10,000 a month, right? And I'm like, yeah, $10,000 a month. And she was like, so do you feel like what you are doing every day deserves that kind of money? What are you doing? And I was like, I don't know. And she said, okay, if you don't know what that looks like, do you feel like if you went and hung out with a triple diamond all day, do you feel like you would be doing the same thing she does? And I was like, no. And she was like, so you don't even know what you need to be doing, but you can confidently say that, like, you don't feel like you would be doing the same thing she's doing? And I was like, no, there's no way. And she was like, that's what you got to work on. And I was like, well, I don't know what those things are. And she said, that's the whole thing. You're going to figure it out. Everybody's day is different. Everybody's journey to triple diamond is different. And so she just told me, she was like, if you know for sure that you are not doing what a triple diamond would be doing, then start doing what you think they would be doing. And that's just like, that was one of the biggest things to me was, one, I can't expect this paycheck. I mean, I can't expect this business to pay me a fat paycheck, a $10,000 paycheck, things people don't ever see in their life. Like, I can't expect that. If I'm over here working, like, I should be getting paid at McDonald's. And no hate to McDonald's, that was my first job. Okay. But seriously, like, if I want to be getting paid $7 an hour, then I'm going to be working, like, watching TV all the time and not truly giving my all. And that was the thing that hit home with me, is like, open up my eyes to the fact that I was just being lazy. And maybe if I just really tried, like, if I really could just try to do this 100%, my 100% for 90 days, then what would happen? And that's what I did. I went double diamond in 90 days from the day that I decided to try to do this business 100%.
Literally the exact same thing happened to me. It was 90 days from the moment I decided to remove my head from my butt and start working.
Yeah, it's
Literally
crazy.
went from executive to double in 3 months. Yeah, that's crazy. I love it.
Crazy.
So what would you say to, I just want to start with this, what would you say to new distributors that, you know, are reaching out to their first customers, their first people that they want to join the business, and, you know, people aren't flocking to them, or maybe they're getting told no a lot, or they're kind of like starting right off the bat feeling discouraged because they thought, you know, so many people would just like join. What would you say to them?
So my favorite thing to say is, how long did it take you to get started? Because we're so quick to be like, oh, I've talked to so many people, which, first of all, so many people, it's probably like 12 people most of the time. I'll be surprised when a new distributor has really talked to more than 20 people, because most of the time it's just a very little number. But I want you guys, if you're a new distributor and you're discouraged because people aren't getting started with you, how long did it take you to become a distributor from the first It Works post you seen? It wasn't a day. You probably watched and watched it. You probably don't even know the first It Works post you seen. I mean, a lot of people don't. And so you have to know that people, one, they want to know that you're going to be serious about this. You know, a lot of people want to trust who they're getting started with. And it's okay that people tell you no. That's part of this business. And just know that, like, literally the biggest thing is just know how long it took you to get started, other people in your same shoes. And if you're not asking people, if you're not asking enough people, you need to keep asking more people. But I would always start with your friends and family, okay? Because those are the people who would most likely support you. Now, for me, I didn't have a lot of them support me. Like, literally, like, no friend supported me for sure when I first started. Because here's the thing, they were in high school. A lot of them were in high school and stuff still. So they didn't have this extra money. It was like, hey, I have to ask my mom and dad if I can buy this. And I'm like, okay, you know?
Person starting young.
Yeah. And so I had to deal with that and finding new people to reach out to and stuff. But just know that if you put an obstacle in front of you, if you start telling yourself from day one, oh, people aren't interested, I've talked to so many people, it's like, no, we need to reflect. Like, how many people is so many people? Because to me, so many people is more than 20 people. It's more than 50 people. 50 people is 50 people. So many people is like, I can't keep up with so many people. You know what I mean? So change your mindset on how many people are telling you no. People aren't getting, their orders placed. People aren't. It's like, let's really look at who those people are and if we can be asking more people, basically. It's what it comes down to.
So true. I love that. So what would you say to people who linger on people that like won't join? Maybe they have like these certain people. So maybe that's not necessarily a new distributor. Maybe it's someone that's kind of farther along and they've been literally begging people to join and they're just getting stagnant on those. What would you say to them?
Stop. Okay. Because if you have to beg somebody to join, guess what? You're going to have to beg them to work every day. And that is boring. That is dreadful. Imagine if the people that you're begging to get started finally get started on this $20 promotion, right? And then every day you have to beg them to make a post. Like, one of the most simplest things that we do as distributors is make a post. Begging them to make a post. Why? For me personally, like, I would rather have somebody who is excited and working and like knows that they're getting into this business expecting to work. So when I'm talking to potential distributors myself, like, I don't, I just am upfront. I'm like, look, I have a couple promo codes, but you have to be honest with me and let me know that you want to make some extra money. Because if you don't, I'll help you get started with the products. You don't want to waste these promo codes on people who aren't going to be ready to work and who aren't serious. Because what's that going to do for you? That's not going to help you go anywhere. That's not going to help them. If anything, it's literally going to be crappy for you and the new distributor, because then the new distributor is going to have bad name in the a bad name for It Works, because she's going to say it didn't work when really she didn't work. We know that because we push people into getting started. Most people that you have to talk into getting started really should just try the products out. I mean, I would rather talk somebody into trying the products than talk somebody into doing the business. Because what I have found is you'll find lazy distributors, and then it starts messing with you. You'll start thinking, oh, my team isn't working, when really you didn't have people that were really wanting to work in the first place. Whereas instead, if you would just work on finding those people who are excited and want to make extra money and need extra money, those people are who it's fun to do this business with. Not the ones who you have to be like, when am I going to hear from her again? She hasn't texted me in a week. You know, that's not fun. That makes you start having a lot of bad thoughts in your head, like, what am I doing wrong as a leader? And it's not you, it's them. And it's because we talked them into doing it too soon.
Wow, so good. Oh my goodness, I'm loving this. If you could look back and tell yourself one thing when you first joined, what would it be?
Start working now. Because I wish that somebody would have been harder on me, I guess. And I'm glad, I know everything happens like it's supposed to, but I wish somebody would have just shook me and been like, Brooke, wake up, stop being lazy, and just start working. If I didn't know, really, like, you never know until you see it. I feel like I couldn't wrap my head around anything more than $2,000 a month. And so the highest, like, even though I seen the income chart, I literally couldn't see past 2,000. Like, everything else was like a blur, because it was like, is that even real? I didn't know money like that existed. Like, I was 19. And so I just wish somebody would have been harder on me, as far as stop sitting here doing nothing and start working. Because where can you be? And where I was, if I would have just started working from the beginning, I could have been double diamond by my third month in this business. But instead, 3 months into this business, I started to go downhill because I let other people's opinions affect me. And it literally took me almost a year to go double diamond, because of other people's opinions of me and letting these comments get in and affect me. And I almost quit. Whereas if I would have just came in right away and started working, it would have been so much faster, you know?
Yes.
I could have helped more people. I could have, I mean, the list of what I could have done, I don't know. But I know that I could have helped more people. And I know that if I would have just started working, I wouldn't have had all of the, you know, naysayers and negative comments, which I'm so glad I did have. I'm not saying that.
Yes.
But if I could have had somebody kick me in the butt in the beginning and give me like a wake up call, stop being lazy, just work, you can do this, like a little pep talk, I would have loved that. Because I didn't ever really, my leader is so yellow, okay? Even still to this day, she's so yellow. I'm harder on her than she is on me. And she never pushed me. She was more like a mom, comforting, and like, it's okay that you're doing horrible. It's okay that you're watching Pretty Little Liars every day. Whereas instead, I needed somebody to be like, you either want this or you don't. Like, I'm red. And so I needed somebody to just kick me in the butt and help me open my eyes to what I can have if I just started doing it. If I stopped with the excuses and if I started working.
Yeah.
That's what I wish
So
I
if
had.
you needed that, if you needed someone to kick you in the butt, Brooke just did. You need to get yourself together. There it was. Okay. Do you build your business face to face at all, or is it all social media?
So I'm actually like extremely shy. If you guys see me at events, I'm really awkward. And I really mean this. I like don't talk to people at events. I'm antisocial, like so bad. So I usually don't do face-to-face. Now, last week, I met up with 3 of my brand new distributors that just so happen to be local. Like, if I knew they were local, I probably wouldn't have told them they could join on my team, because then I have to meet up with them. No, I'm just kidding. They're on here and I love them and they're freaking killing it. But I am really shy, and so I really haven't been so much face-to-face. I'll tell you that all the way up to Double Diamond, I built Facebook. Literally don't think I ever met anybody face-to-face except for like the person who got me started. And then I did a little bit of like training, because we moved from Alaska back to Missouri. And so when I came back to Missouri, I was building to go presidential. So I went from double to pres in 1 month, and I did a lot of like trainings that way. Like I did a lot of face-to-face with my team, but it wasn't like meeting with potential distributors per se. So I don't necessarily close people in person. It would be meeting people in person, meeting them at Starbucks, showing them a Ruby chart, showing them, on my phone. I wish there was a way to like just always have my phone on record to show people like little tips and tricks to do on my phone as far as social media. So I'll show them things like that in person.
Yeah. Where do you live in Missouri?
But Kansas City.
Okay. So I guess, is that close to where Courtney Bohr lives?
We live like an hour away.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, we have a Double Diamond on our team. She lives in Missouri too. So she was like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. Okay. What are your biggest like tips on bringing in mass volume when you're promoting?
Okay, so I tell my team what you focus on is what you're going to enroll. Okay, so, and someone had to tell me this in November, because I was really struggling, or maybe it was December last month, or 2 months ago, 3 months ago. I was struggling with enrolling distributors personally, and somebody was just like, you are going to attract what you talk about. And I know this, but sometimes we just get caught up in like just posting so much that we don't
I'm
even
pretty
realize
sure we talked about it.
Yeah, we talked about it, and I talked to Morgan about it too. And then I think Kristen too, I talked to her about it. And I think Kristen looked at my page and she was like, no wonder you're not enrolling distributors and you've enrolled all these customers, because all you're talking about is the products. And so when you want to enroll customers, like I teach my team that from the 1st to the 15th, we enroll distributors. I mean, mind you, if a customer wants to enroll, that's great and all. But from the 1st to the 15th, like we're strictly messaging people about the business, especially right now, reaching out, sending out messages about the business. And then from the 15th on, we teach our team to enroll customers, focus on customers, posting about the product, sharing the, you know what I mean? Like that's kind of like my rule of thumb that I followed for the last couple of years, and that I was taught to do. Now, the cool thing about it is your new distributors that are enrolling from the 1st to the 15th, they're going to be working on customers regardless. And so you can help them with that. And I don't mean like that you stop posting about the products. I post about the products every single day, and I try and post about the business every single day. But when I'm in people's inbox messaging them from the 1st to the 15th, it's 9 times out of 10 about the business. And from the 15th to the 30th, it's 9 times out of 10 about the products. So it's like the posting isn't necessarily, yes, posting enrolls people. I get that. But for me, my enrollments come from like getting in someone's inbox and messaging them and asking them. We don't get paid. I know it's like fun to do and it's easy, but we don't get paid to make posts on Facebook. We get paid, like It Works distributors get paid money to ask more people if they want to do this. And when they say yes, we make money. We don't get paid to just post pretty things on Facebook and Instagram, because that's not going to make us money. So just remember that when you're posting, it's part of it. But just like, this is kind of getting off topic too, but just like with recipes, if you're making lasagna and you don't have everything in that recipe to make that lasagna, it's not going to turn out the right way. This business is the same way. Posting is one of the ingredients to our lasagna, but there's certain things in the recipe that are important. For example, you can't have lasagna and not have noodles. I mean, you can if you're on keto, but that ain't real lasagna. Okay? So, for instance, the meat to our business is messaging people, having conversations with people, like asking them. You can't have a very like hardcore successful business if you're not talking to new people. Posting, it's still part of it, You know, posting is like your seasoning to your lasagna, but it's not the meat of it. It's not, you know what I mean? It's not something that is going to make or break it. So just, I don't know. I feel like some people will tell themselves like, I've been working, and when we come in, we look at and reflect on what we have done. It's like, well, I've been posting. Well, posting is just a little bit of what we do. We have to just make sure that we're asking people. That's what we get paid to do, regardless if you want to do that through Facebook, Instagram, in person, at work, at a gas station, wherever you want to ask people. Just make sure you're asking them and not just thinking that the posting is going to get you to double diamond or get you to triple diamond.
Yes. So good. So when it comes to that, how are you sealing the deal with your distributors and customers?
I really, my potential, okay, so I was messaging Jade the other night, and I was sending her some screenshots of how I talk to people, and she was just in shock with how basic I keep it. Like, I don't go over this is going to sound so crappy, but I don't go over the bonuses. I don't, go over all the crazy, amazing things we have going on in the company, because I feel like it's going to confuse them and it's going to overwhelm them. And when I enroll a distributor, my first goal is for them to get 4 customers. That's like my first goal with them is 4 customers. And so when I talk to my distributor, my potential distributor, it typically goes like, I'll message her and I'll say, hey girl, I don't know if you've seen my post or not, but have you ever thought about making some extra money from your phone, even if it was like $300 or $500 a month? That's what I like to go with, because it's not salesy. It's not like, oh my gosh, you sent this to everybody. It's literally like something I would say to someone at the gas station. Like, hey, I don't know if you'd be interested, but could you use an extra $300 a month? I have this job that I do, and you could do it on your phone. Like, you could literally say that to somebody at the gas station. And so I send that to them, and then, obviously someone's going to say no, not respond, whatever, but people will reply and they'll be like, yeah, sure, I've seen some of your posts. What exactly do you do? And then I'll say, well, I started this business for an extra $300, $500 a month. If you can make some extra money from your phone, how much would you like to be able to make? So I always end with a question, which I think is so important, because people feel like if you ask them a question, they have to respond. If you are talking to somebody and there's not a question, typically it's like, okay, I'm just not going to reply, because it's like that awkwardness. So I always end with a question. So I tell them why I got started, $300 to $500. Another reason being is because that means that they're most likely, like almost 100% of the time, because I say 3 to 500, people respond back and they say 3 to 500 because I give them that number. So then they're going to be like, oh, okay, yeah, 3 to 500 would be great for me, especially just starting out, but I'd like to make more after that. And I'll say, okay, awesome. So have you ever heard of It Works or It Works Global? That's my next question. And they respond back, yes or no. If they say no, I'll say, okay, well, it's a health and wellness company. We've been up for over 20 years. We have over 50 products. We have weight loss products, skincare, hair growth. Could you see yourself using some of those products and posting on Instagram like I do? They say yes. And then I send voice clips. So this is all texting. And then the last part, I send voice clips, and I'll say, okay, perfect. Really quick, do you care if I send you a couple voice messages going over how to get started and what I do? And they say yes. And then I send my voice clips. And in my voice clips, I literally say step 1, step 2, step 3. I say, okay, so the first step is you're going to be, even right now with this promotion, I say, so the first step for you to become a distributor and get your business going is you are going to get your business started for $99. That's going to give you a website free for your first month. After that, you can pay $20 a month if you want. I will tell you that being a business owner, it is so convenient to have that website, but you have full access over whether or not you want to pay for that or not. And you're going to be able to choose which products you want. We have 4 different packs. So that's step 1. You are literally going to be a business owner, be able to work from your phone. I know you're familiar with, again, this is like something I say all the time, so that's why I know it. I know you're familiar with traditional businesses. It costs thousands of dollars to get started. Hair salons, tattoo artists, they pay so much money to get their business stores open. You'll be able to do it for $99. So that's the first step. Step 2 is I'm going to help you get 4 customers in your first month. And when you do this, we're going to get you a $100 shopping spree. But the cool thing is you're going to be making commission too. I'm going to help you with what to post, how to talk to people. You can literally screenshot me messages and I will tell you what to say back to people. So that's going to be your first goal. And then your last goal is to find 3 people who want to make some extra money with you. Again, I'm going to help you with what to post, how to talk to people. If we need to hop on the phone and do it through a message or through a phone call, you send me screenshots. I'm going to be here to teach you everything that you need to know. So what questions do you have for me about any of that? And I send the voice message. And then normally, they'll message whatever they have. Maybe they have questions. Most of the time, I feel like I go over it pretty much like what we're doing. And then I will send my final message after that. And I'll be like, I started this business 5 years ago for an extra $300 to $500 a month. And I know that I can teach you how to do this business. This is all I do as a distributor. I help people get started with the products. I help people get started with the business. And as long as you're teachable and you're willing to work, I know I can help you do this business. Right now, I do have a $20 kit or a $40, $49, whatever it is. Right now, I do have a $20 promo code that I can help you get started in this business. But I have to have you commit to me that you really want to do this business and make some extra money. And if so, I would be more than happy to give you one of those codes. Like, that's my conversation with them. And I feel like it sounds like a lot probably right now, but most of it is just like, 3 short little text messages and then 2 voice messages. I have my voice messages are in 2 minutes, and then it's just answering any other questions they have. So I feel like my biggest tip for enrolling distributors is keeping it simple and making sure you can get done with the conversation quickly. Because what I have seen in my past is like my conversations with potential distributors would go on for like hours because I'm waiting for them to respond. I'm telling them so much information for them to try and like understand it, for them to respond. And I just kept it really short, really basic. I can get from the beginning to the very end of a conversation with a potential distributor in like 3 minutes. If they're on their phone messaging me back and I'm messaging them back right then, 3 minutes.
Yeah, super short and simple with everything too, and you only ever answer, what they ask too. That's a big thing as well.
Yeah.
So how do you handle it, when your team gets discouraged and when you get discouraged?
When I get discouraged, I reach out to somebody. It may not always be my leader, but like in December or November, I don't know when it was, I was just really discouraged. I had made a goal that I was going to enroll or that I was going to complete my steps to success for the whole, all of 2018. And I didn't, it was November. And in November, I didn't complete my steps to success. And I was like super upset about it. And I had 2 choices. I could have stayed in this like upset, pity, whatever, just being mad. But instead, I, reached out to advice from other leaders in the business. Like I literally posted on our page and was like, hey, I need some tips. And people were willing to help me with how I could work on this or how I could work on that. And then I reached out to my leader too. Like still to this day, I'll reach out to my uplines and I'll be like, hey, I'm struggling with this. Or if I need to call them and cry, or if I need to, hey, I don't know this question, whatever. Like I always am willing to reach up and just ask people, because when I was going to quit this business, I was by myself. I was lonely. I was unplugged. I wasn't involved. Like I was by myself. And that's why I was able to get in this place of like, oh, let's just quit. But when you keep plugged in with people, and even though you're not happy or you're mad or you're discouraged or whatever it is, when you stay close to those people and you reach out to them, they're going to be here to help you and help you get through whatever season you're going through. So don't be by yourself, because that's when the enemy's going to be able to come in and get you all by yourself and make you feel like you really can't do this and that it's not possible and that there's no way you can go double diamond this month or next month or whatever, when you absolutely can. So stay plugged in with your leaders.
So if you had a team that like was not working, what would you do in that point?
Like a leg, I guess, you mean?
Yeah, like you just have those people that are like, my whole team's not working. What do you say to them?
Then find new people. Honestly, you can only do so much for so many people. And don't have this like, oh, I'm not working with you anymore, even if you come back. open up your arms so that whenever they want to come back, if they want to work, great, I'm here to work with you. But don't be like, don't be petty about it. Don't get mad about it. Go find more people who want to do this business with you. It is going to be easier to drag people along that are like walking behind you or running behind you versus dragging dead bodies behind you. Which one's easier? You can only pull so many dead people. Literally, like physically, if you went and try to pull dead people, you can only pull so many. But if you are attached to 300 people who are attached to you running behind you, 1,000 people, if you have, it doesn't matter. If they're all running behind you, you can pull as many people as you want. So why continue to build these people or help this leg or this team if they aren't working? You start working with new people. You start finding people who want to do this business. You will attract people like yourself. So if you are negative and just not excited and in a bad mindset all the time, you're going to find people coming into your business that are going to be just like that. But if you are being excited and positive and have all this energy and are just literally jumping up and down about what's going to happen next, you're going to find yourself enrolling these distributors that are like, oh my gosh, like she just enrolled 3 customers. She's enrolling 2 distributors. You're not going to be able to keep up with them. Do not get stuck on the people who aren't doing this business because it's only going to make it that much harder for you. And literally physically think about the fact if you had to pull dead people, how hard would it be? Well, you're doing it with your business if you're trying to make people work that don't want to work. And it's impossible. You can only pull so many people who aren't working.
Mm-hmm. I remember for the longest time, my whole team, I was just like, they're dead. My team is dead. No one's working. And that was such a toxic thing for me because even if the people that were working, I completely just looked over them because I was only focusing on those that weren't working. And then I didn't want to work because my team wasn't working. And then I was pissed off all the time and I was an angry leader and so mad. And the moment that I went double diamond in 3 months was the moment that I did not care who was coming with me. Like I was going to double diamond. I was going to be rich and I didn't care who was coming with me. And with that excitement, the right people started to come and I started to attract the people that were positive instead of me being negative Nelly over there griping that every single person on my team was dead. So yeah, love everything that you just said. So what would you give as a couple of pieces of advice to those that are really hustling for these promotions going on right now?
I would say keep going. Get your head down. Don't, even if it's February 28th and you don't know how it's going to happen, don't start telling yourself that it can't happen. Okay? Because the moment that you tell yourself that it's not going to happen, it absolutely will not happen. If you even like right now for a split second, if you're like, I don't know, maybe next month, then it's not happening this month. You have to believe in your heart that it can happen this month. That's what it's going to take. If you're already on freaking February 10th, like, I don't know. Well, then guess what? You don't know and it's not happening because you're not going in 100% that it's going to happen this month. You have to know that you are going to do anything it takes this month. And if February 28th comes and there's an hour left, you better be working just as if it's the whole month and that you're still going to do it because it's going to make you that much closer come the end of March. But if you take off February 28th or if you take off the last week of February because it's not going to happen, well, guess what? You have that much more to make up in March. So you have to make sure that no matter how far away you are still going to keep continuing to tell yourself it's going to happen, it's going to happen, it's going to happen. Because it will. Want to know why? Like I told you guys, I went from double to presidential in 1 month. It wasn't really 1 month. It did happen in 1 month. But it was the work that I did each month that I didn't give up. So I came out of conference and I was like, I'm going to go presidential diamond as a double diamond. I was like, I'm going to go presidential diamond. And I worked my butt off with my team that month in February. And I didn't promote a presidential diamond. But guess what? I finished all of February strong. I finished it off so strong, you guys. I didn't for a second start telling myself it wasn't going to happen. I didn't start telling myself it wasn't going to happen, even though number-wise, there was no way I was bringing in 8,000 in volume in one day. I knew that, but I didn't tell myself that. I didn't announce it. I didn't let myself think about it for a split second. I just kept working. Okay? March 1st came. I was sad. The bonuses were gone. And I was like, oh my gosh, I missed it. Like I missed it, but I kept working. I enrolled 31 distributors in the first 10 days of March, and I promoted to Presidential Diamond the end of March. But if I would have taken a couple days off in February and I would have had this boohoo party, I didn't do it, then I wouldn't have promoted in March either, because I would have wasted time, because my team would have lost their energy, And instead of doing that, instead of being like, oh, there's not enough time, I just kept working. I let my team know we're going to do this. I don't know when we're going to do this, but we're going to do this, and we're going to keep working, and we're going to keep posting, and we're going to keep talking. And it happened. So keep your head down no matter how far away you are. Keep working, stay positive, and know that if you quit, it ain't going to happen. But if you keep working and you keep pushing, it's going to happen.
So what's the importance of taking up on the momentum that's going on right now?
Not letting it stop. Because when you let the momentum stop, it's going to be, it's not going to be hard, I'm going to say. But it is. Like, getting people to get re-fired up again, it doesn't just happen. You know what I mean? Like, it takes work to make that happen. So if I would have stopped in February and my momentum would have just hit me in the face and everyone would have stopped, then maybe it would have been like March 12th before it picked back up again. What I was told is, for every day that you take off, and I think Pam Sauter said this, every day that you take off, it takes like 3 days to pick that back up. So every day that you don't work your business, it's going to take 3 days to get back to where you were. Think about that. That's not fun. That's not going to get you there any quicker. Think about a bag of popcorn, okay? I am really weird, and I just like to explain things so people can understand. So that's where we get spaghetti and popcorn, and I like to eat. But think about popcorn when you put it in the microwave. It doesn't say on the instructions, pop this popcorn over the next 15 minutes. You keep the door shut on the microwave, and you pop it for like a minute. But if you have your popcorn in there and you pop it for a minute, but every 5 seconds you open that microwave door, it's never going to pop. Even though you left it in there for a minute, because you kept opening that door, the popcorn isn't going to pop. Your business is the same way, okay? If you keep opening up your business to let people go out and the momentum leave, when you shut that door, that's great that your door is shut again, but you're going to open it up in another 2 days because something comes up. Life happens. I don't know what happens, but something happens, and then the momentum goes away.
So good.
The same way, you guys, you have to make sure that no matter, and I get that life happens. Trust me, I know life happens. Okay? But you have to make sure that you don't let that momentum continue to just go away like the heat in the microwave making your popcorn. Go try it tonight. None of you will be, I don't care if you pop the popcorn for 15, 30 minutes, a whole day. If you open that door every 5 seconds, it won't pop, ever. Your business is the same way. So stop opening the door to your business every 5 days, every 5 weeks, every 5 months. You have to get your head down and take it seriously. And seriously to me might mean different to you. Seriously to me might mean working my business 5 days a week, 5 hours a day. To you, it may be just keeping that same consistent schedule of working it an hour a day. So I'm not saying you have to do what I do, but being consistent with it, you do have to. You have to be consistent with it and making sure that's gonna help make sure that momentum stays.
Freaking fire. Amazing. I love it. So what does your average day look like with you working your business?
So my average day is actually kind of simple, I feel like, too. I have 2 little boys, and I'm at home with them every day. I wake up, I make my coffee, I post on my Instagram story, and then for the first 30 minutes that I'm up, I will message people on Instagram or Facebook, wherever you want to message. I send out messages for 30 minutes, strict, like 30 minutes. No going to the bathroom, no, picking up any toys, like messaging for 30 minutes. Then when I'm done messaging, I'll pick up my kids' food. I'll put do the dishes, whatever. And throughout my day, as people start to respond, I'll message them back when I can. So during that 30 minutes that I'm messaging people, if people start to respond in that 30 minutes, I don't respond. Like, I wait until my 30 minutes is up till I reply to anybody. And then At lunchtime, again, I message for 30 minutes. And then throughout my day, again, I'll put my phone down. I'll post some stuff here and there on Instagram. And then at nighttime, I message again for another 30 minutes. So for an hour and a half a day, I message. 30 minutes in the morning, 30 minutes in the afternoon, 30 minutes at night, an hour and a half. I send out messages strictly. Throughout my day, all together is when I'm getting back to people, when I'm posting on my story. There's no like set schedule. It's just kind of like, oh, I got my phone for a second. I'm not doing anything. I'm going pee, make a post. Like literally, that's what it is. And that's what like I like to do. I do have obviously like Zooms that I do that I have set up each week or whatever, and calls that I'll get on. But day to day, I try and message for an hour and a half a day, and I follow people throughout my day. But there's no like follow this many people a day, do this. It's just throughout my day. Like I do this so I can be at home with my kids. And I know that if I'm messaging those people 30, if I'm messaging people for an hour and a half a day, 3 different times, each 30 minutes, people are going to be responding to me throughout the day. From breakfast to lunch, people are responding. From lunch to dinner, people are responding. Like, so I constantly have activity happening. You know what I mean?
Yes. So
that's what I do.
Ashley, you asked about color languages. So if you just like Google color languages, you can take like the color language test, and it just matches like based on who you are on what color you're most like. You went over that. What's your how do you find the people to message and follow?
I follow people based off of things I have in common. So for example, TV shows. So anybody like Grey's Anatomy, I don't like Grey's Anatomy, but I use that as an example. It's a popular TV show. You can go to the Grey's Anatomy Instagram page, and almost every day they upload a picture. There's about like literally millions of people who like the pictures, and I will go through and I'll follow people who like the picture or who followed the page. Now, example, I don't like Grey's Anatomy. I don't watch it, so I don't follow people from that page. That's just an idea. I also follow people based off of hashtags and location. So I'm in Missouri. I can target people in Missouri. I can target people in my city by typing in just like places, Kansas City, Missouri, whatever. Or I can target people in different locations like Iowa, the University of this, wherever. And so I do a lot of that too, following people like all over so that I'm not just in my area. And I message people based off of who view my story each day. And every day new people are viewing my story because I'm following new people throughout my day. Even if it's like, even if I can follow people really quickly. I can follow like 60 people in a minute, I feel like, because I'm just really fast at it. But people are viewing my story new every single day, and I have new people who are watching my story. So I message people who view my story for the most part.
Very good. I do the same thing. So, I'm a full-time college student. How do I work and keep my GPA up at the same time?
I mean, you just do. I'm a full-time mom and I have 2 kids, and it's just finding that schedule. So like you need to find your schedule. You need to find when you can work this business each day, and we all can. We all have the time. Do you need to wake up 30 minutes before you do already and do a couple messages, like send out messages for 30 minutes? Or maybe you need to do 20 minutes. Maybe you need to wake up 30 minutes early, send out messages for 20 minutes. Maybe at night, instead of going to bed when you normally do, stay up an extra 20 minutes. You know what I mean? It's finding that time that you can be intentional with your business. It's what's going to change what you're doing now and where you are to get to where you want to be. Those little things that we can tweak. There's other people who were in college full time and needed to keep their grades up too, who are successful with this business. And so what that means is that they can do it, you can do it too. You just have to figure out what you can change and when you can fit that time in and how you can do it. But if you start telling yourself that you can't already, like if you're like, I can't, well, then you're not going to do it. You can do this. I know you can, because I know other successful people who have done it. So that means you can. You're no different. They're no better than you. Now you have to stop telling yourself that you can't and make sure that we're being make sure that we are opening our eyes up to the fact of, well, what time am I doing this? When am I doing this? Am I watching TV too much? What time could you really be working your business more?
Perfect. So if you could leave everyone with one thing, I always ask this, and sometimes it throws people off, sometimes it doesn't, but if you could leave everyone with one thing, what would you leave them with?
I think my one thing would be to get out of like your own head. I feel like that's what holds people back the most is yourself. You know, this business is simple. I could literally teach my 5-year-old how to do this business. I could teach my grandma how to do this business. This business really is simple. The hard thing about this business is that you are your own boss. Okay? You are your own boss. She can't fire you. We can't fire you. You have to decide that you want to take this seriously. You have to decide that. I can't make you. You can't, no one can make you wake up and say, you know what, I'm going to be a good business owner today. You have to do that. And so getting out of your own head, stop telling yourself these negative things like there's not enough time. Some of you all in here are already saying there's not enough time for your promotion to happen this month. That you are. And you have to stop getting that in your head. If you are constantly telling yourself these negative things, it's not going to happen. I know because I was there for 10 months. Like, I know. And so get out of your own head. Stop letting all these negative things fill up your mind and tell yourself that you're not good enough, you're not pretty enough, you have a busy schedule, you have too much time you have too much time. You don't have enough time to do this. You don't have enough friends. You don't have enough following. Stop with all the excuses. Get out of your own head and start working. I promise you that if you put as much time into working this business as you did with coming up with excuses, you would be successful. And I don't mean this in like a mean way at all. I just mean it because I've been doing it for so long that I've seen myself, I've seen other people. I know what it's like to be in my own head. I struggled with it. You guys, like it's terrifying to think that if I would have quit, I wouldn't have my freaking baby right now. Like if I would have quit this business, I would not have had my little boy because we didn't have the money to have him. Like we did not have money to provide for a second child. And so stop telling yourself things like you're not good enough, that you can't do this business, that you don't have enough time. If you would just stop with all of that crap, that's really what it is. It's crap. And just start being positive and trying hard to just reach out to people, working your business for 10 minutes at a time. I don't care how much time you do. It starts with being consistent and being positive, and just get all that negative stuff out of your head. Don't allow it. That's what's going to stop you from anything that you want to do, even without this business. In life in general. I was talking to I was talking to my new distributor and her potential distributor today. And her potential distributor said, she knows people who's done this before and they just weren't successful and quit. And she's just scared to do this herself because she knows so many people who've quit. And that's not even an it works problem. That's like literally a human problem. We raise our children that it's okay to quit the cheerleading team. It's okay to quit soccer. It's okay to, quit this, quit that. We grow up thinking that it's okay to quit when it's not. I do not like being a quitter. I don't want to raise my kids to be a quitter. I enrolled my 3-year-old into soccer, and he cried at every single practice, and he never played a game on the soccer field. But guess what? We took him to every practice. We made him go to every single game, and he cried, and it was the most stressful thing ever. Even though he was 3, I didn't let him quit, because that's stuff that sticks with you. That is stuff that you carry with you to an adult age, with regardless if it works or college or school or a relationship. If you think that quitting is an option, then it's an option. But if you take quitting off the table and you get your head down and you get all this negative stuff out of your mind, then all you have is what's to go up in front of you. there's no more looking back. There's no way you're going to fail. It may not happen very quickly. It may not, happen overnight. Surely no, but it's going to happen.
I love it. Thank you so much for doing this for us. You're so amazing. I already have my phone already blowing up literally from this. But thank you. I'm going to record this and post it on my YouTube channel. I'll probably have it done tonight. But for everyone else, the family call is at 9. It's supposed to be pretty crazy. I have no idea what they're going to announce, and I'm really anxious about it, but I'm excited. And we're going to screen share it on here for all of y'all that are still on here. So thank you, Brooke. I love you. And I know that helped out so much with everybody. And good luck on everything, because I know we're freaking going ambassador.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Everyone say thanks, Brooke, and wave at her, because she's amazing.